Welcome to the Space Fortress project. The game you'll be playing is called Space Fortress. It is a complex and difficult game that requires a high degree of skill. You'll be controlling a spaceship that is moving in a frictionless environment that includes hostile elements, a space fortress, and mines that will try to damage or destroy your ship. Your primary goal is to maximize your game points. To accomplish this, you will have to 1. Destroy the fortress as many times as you can. 2. Hit as many mines as possible. And 3. Protect your own ship from being hit or damaged. On the computer display, the upper part represents the environment in which you will fly your ship to accomplish your mission. An instrument panel is located at the bottom of the display and provides important information necessary for flight and mission performance. About your spaceship. You'll be controlling the motion of your spaceship by operating a joystick. Remember that the ship is moving in a frictionless environment and is thus very sensitive to stick inputs. Moving the stick forward will cause the ship to accelerate in the direction in which it is pointing. Moving the stick to the left or right will rotate the ship counterclockwise or clockwise respectively. Pulling the stick towards you will have no effect on the movement of the ship. You should realize that the ship will not slow down or stop unless you accelerate in the direction opposite to which your ship is currently moving. The boundaries of the region in which you will try to fly your ship are represented by the 2 hexagons displayed on the screen. Your ship will be moving in a hostile environment in which it is constantly threatened by the fortress and mines. After your ship has been damaged 3 times, it will be destroyed and the game will start again automatically. To defend yourself, you are given weapons which you may fire on either the fortress or the mines. The firing button is located on the top of the control stick. When you press the button, it will fire a missile in the direction in which the ship is pointing. At any time, your ship can carry no more than 100 missiles. About the fortress. In this game, your principal opponent is the space fortress, which is stationed in the center of the screen. The fortress can rotate, track, and lock onto your ship, firing a shell at your ship. When a shell hits or passes close enough to your ship, it will damage or destroy it. Your mission is to destroy the fortress. In order to do this, you have to hit the fortress with your missiles at least 10 times. The timing of these first 10 shots is critical. At least 250 milliseconds must occur between each of these shots. The number of successful fortress hits is displayed in the vulnerability counter on the instrument panel. Once you hit the fortress 10 times or more, with a timing between each shot at least 250 milliseconds, the fortress becomes vulnerable. If you shoot at the fortress too rapidly, the vulnerability of the fortress will reset to 0, and you must begin accumulating vulnerability points all over again. Once the vulnerability of the fortress reaches 10 or more, you can destroy it by hitting it with a double shot. That is, 2 consecutive shots in less than 250 milliseconds. It is okay to wait until you have hit the fortress more than 10 times before you attempt your double shot. However, if you fire a double shot when the fortress vulnerability counter is less than 10, the vulnerability counter will reset back to 0, and you have to begin accumulating fortress hits all over again in order to destroy the space fortress. About mines. Mines constitute an additional threat to your ship. Every 4 seconds, a mine will appear somewhere on the screen. Mines will actively pursue your ship and try to damage or destroy it if you let them get close enough. If you do not destroy the mine, it will remain active for 10 seconds before it disappears. You will want to deal with mines as quickly as you can, because as long as there is a mine on the screen, you cannot damage the space fortress. There are 2 types of mines, and you must respond differently depending on which type it is. A mine can either be a friend or a foe. It is identified by a letter that appears in the middle of the instrument panel under the label IFF, Identify Friend or Foe. Before each 3-minute game, 3 letters will be displayed on the screen that designate the identity of foe mines. These identifiers will change from one game to the next. It is very important that you remember these letters. When you detect a mine on the display, check your instrument panel. If the letter is one of the 3 letters presented at the beginning of the game, the mine on the display is a foe. If the letter is not one of the 3 letters presented at the beginning of the game, it is a friend. When you fire a missile at a friendly mine, you will energize it. Each time you energize a friendly mine, you will receive 20 points, and the vulnerability counter for the Space Fortress will be incremented by 1 point. Energizing friendly mines increases the vulnerability of the Space Fortress. When you identify a mine as a foe, you must press the IFF button, the right button on the mouse, 2 times before you can destroy it. The interval between the 2 button presses must be between 250 and 400 milliseconds. Any interval that is shorter or longer than this range will not be effective. On the right side of the instrument panel, a counter displays the actual interval between your 2 button presses. If you did not succeed in hitting the 2 button presses at the right interval, you can try again. Each time you destroy a foe mine, you will receive 30 points. Remember, you must press the IFF button twice, with the correct interval between the button presses, before you can destroy a foe mine. However, for a friend mine, you can shoot it right away. To summarize, when a mine appears, check the letter under IFF. If the mine is a friend, aim at it and press the trigger button. If it is a foe, press the right button on the mouse twice with the interval between each button press between 250 and 400 milliseconds, then aim at the mine and pull the trigger. Important: when a mine appears on the screen, your weapons will not be effective against the fortress. However, once a mine disappears or you have destroyed it, your weapon systems will automatically be effective against the Space Fortress again. There are a number of possible errors you can make in mine identification. Error number 1. The mine is a friend and you press the IFF button. If you press the IFF button for a friendly mine, it becomes a deadly foe. Your weapons will not be effective against it, and all you can do is avoid the mine and the fortress and wait for the mine to disappear. Error number 2. The mine is a foe, and you do not press the IFF button. In this case, your weapon systems will not be effective against the mine, but you can still press the IFF button and shoot the mine. Error number 3. The mine is a foe, you press the IFF button, but the interval between the 2 button presses is either too long or too short. Again, your weapon systems will not be effective until you press the IFF button with the correct interval between the 2 button presses. About resources. When the game begins, you will have 100 missiles. The number of missiles your ship has remaining is displayed in the shots counter on the right side of the instrument panel. Once your supply is depleted, you can still shoot, but every missile you shoot will cost you 3 points. Underneath the fortress, different symbols will appear. When a $ appears twice in a row, you have the opportunity to obtain more resources. You can choose to get up to 50 missiles or 100 more points. The choice is yours. You have to decide each time which choice will benefit you the most. Select more points by pressing the left button on the mouse. Select more missiles by pressing the middle button on the mouse. If you press one of these buttons when the $ appears for the second time, you will get the bonus that you selected. However, if you press one of these 2 buttons when the symbol appears for the first time, you will get nothing. Furthermore, pressing the button again when the $ does appear the second time will have no effect, so you missed your opportunity for the bonus. Whenever you have obtained either points or missiles, the word bonus will flash near the fortress. About ship control. You must learn to acquire control of the ship and fly it in a planned trajectory. Your goal is to fly the ship in a clockwise direction around the fortress while staying within the hexagon boundaries. By doing this, you will maximize your ship control points. You must also not leave the edges of the gameplay area. When this happens, you wrap around to the other side of the screen. This is called entering hyperspace, and you will lose points whenever you enter hyperspace. Speed of mine handling. You will receive immediate feedback about your response time and success in handling each mine by the number of points added or lost to your speed score. Points will be subtracted from the score if you are slow to respond to a mine or do not respond at all. You will always maximize your points in this area by handling mines quickly and appropriately. About points. Your total number of points for this subscore is continuously updated and displayed on the instrument panel underneath the label Points. Points will be added to your point score as follows. You will gain points when you hit the fortress. You will gain 100 points when you destroy the fortress, 20 points for energizing a friendly mine, 30 points for destroying a foe mine, and 100 points if you select the points option when the bonus is available. Points will be subtracted from your point score as follows. -3 if you shoot a missile when you have none left, -50 points if the fortress damages your ship, -50 points if a mine damages your ship, and -100 points if your ship is destroyed. Control score. Your total number of points for this subscore is continuously updated and displayed on the instrument panel beneath the label Control. Points will be added to your control score as follows. You will receive maximum points when your ship is on screen and within the hexagon boundaries. You will only receive half as many points when your ship is on screen but outside the hexagon boundaries. Points will be subtracted from your control score as follows. -35 points every time your ship leaves the screen and goes into hyperspace. -5 points every time your ship enters the inner hexagon. Velocity score. Your total number of points for this subscore is continuously updated and displayed on the instrument panel underneath the label Velocity. Points will be added to your velocity score as follows. 7 points for moving in a low velocity. Points will be subtracted for your velocity score as follows. -7 points for moving at a fast velocity. These points are continuously updated. Speed score. Your total number of points for this subscore is continuously updated and displayed on the instrument panel underneath the label Speed. Points will be added or subtracted to your speed score as follows. You will receive -50 to +100 points depending on how quickly and accurately you deal with friend and foe mines. Remember, your main goal is to obtain the highest total score. Your total score is the combination of the following 4 subscores: points, control, velocity, and speed. To maximize these points, you must do the following. Points. Hit and destroy the fortress as many times as possible. Destroy as many mines as possible. Avoid letting your ship get hit or destroyed by the fortress or mines. Select the bonus points whenever possible except for when your shots are low. Control. Stay on the screen and move clockwise within the hexagon boundaries. Velocity. Move the ship at low velocity. Speed. Destroy mines quickly and appropriately. You will not know your total score until the game has ended. We will now tell you the optimal strategies for playing the game. 1. Navigation. Circle the fortress slowly in a clockwise direction while staying within the region enclosed by the 2 hexagons. 2. Mine responses for correctly identified mines. Let the mines come to the ship, then turn and fire when they are close. 3. Mine response for incorrectly identified mines. A friendly mine becomes a deadly foe if the foe response is made when it appears. That is, if the IFF button is pushed. If this happens, it cannot be destroyed and it can destroy the ship. In this situation, it is best not to run from the mine. Stay on the hexagon course and let the mine destroy your ship. 4. Missile management. When bonus opportunities occur, take points unless the ship has less than 50 missiles remaining. 5. Joystick control. The joystick is very sensitive, so use a light touch. Let the joystick return to the center when you're not actively maneuvering the ship so that you do not send unintentional signals to the computer that will adversely affect the ship's flight pattern. Thank you for your attention. This completes the end of the instructions. However, we will now show you a short summary movie that goes over the important rules of Space Fortress again.